Welcome, one and all, to Talking with Tom and Jim. I'm your host, Jeff Greenwald, and above me here is Tom Goldrup, Jim Goldrup. And welcome, guys. It's always fun to be here. Are you arm wrestling? What are you? So thank you, guys, for being here. For those of you who are just joining us, they are film historians. They've written 4 books on the golden age of Hollywood. And they've traveled the world, and et cetera, et cetera. So welcome, guys. It's always fun to be here with you. And I'm excited. Next to me here as a special guest is Ray Goldrup. And it's not a coincidence. They are brothers. And Ray is a very accomplished writer in film and television. And thank you, sir, for being here. I wanted to start off tonight with a weird question. Tom and Jim, and I've been waiting to ask this. So we were off camera somewhere during one of the shows, so it never made it into a show, guys. But you told this amazing story, and I said, if I ever get the chance, if Ray's ever on the show, I'm going to bring this up. Uh-oh. You told the story of Ray built a rocket ship and made you do all these things so that you could go to the moon. Can you relate this?
We're trying to build a rocket ship. Yeah, we had this little stuffed gingerbread type character, and so.
How old were you, by the way? How old were you when this was happening?
Too old to talk about.
We were kids. We weren't old enough to scare anybody. But we had to go up and knock on doors and hold up this little gingerbread guy named Connie Baby and say, "Hi, my name is Connie Baby, and I want to know if I can sleep here tonight." And you get all kinds of reactions.
We had to do it, otherwise we couldn't go in the rocket.
We couldn't go in the rocket ship with Ray to the moon.
Yeah, he was going to build.
He had us do other things too, I won't even talk about. But the rocket never made it to the moon. It never even. We were going to put it on the top of put it on the top of our fort in the backyard and push it off, and hopefully it would fly, but it would have crashed. I mean, it's one of the crazy things Ray had us do.
That is a writer for you.
That's a writer for you. It's our older brother, and that's Ray. Ray's okay.
Ray's okay.
See, it was going to be propelled by a twisted tire tube.
Yeah.
And it was very complex, and I'm saying complex so it'll sound more real. It was so stupid.
Was this?
Baby,
go ahead.
Connie Baby originated. We found this little doll, and we tried to destroy it. We tied it to the back of our bikes and drug it all over the place, and it got a little ragged and stuff. But then we started feeling sorry for it, and so we preserved it, kept it in this side of mortality, so to speak, and we used it in doing these wild, crazy things about, I'm Connie Baby, can I sleep here? Some doors were slammed in my brother's faces. Others, people started laughing, and
we have to be really careful what stories we tell Jeff off air.
We were
no more.
I think that we were talking about Rocket Ship XM, and then that turned into your story about Ray making a rocket ship. So, while we're all here, I asked a question about similar to this a few weeks ago, Tom and Jim. But I'm wondering if you guys have any interesting airport stories. So we talked about airplane stories, but do we have? It just seems like airports are such a fountain of disaster. I'm wondering if you guys have any crazy stories involving airports or travel. I guess it could be.
I don't know if we ever told this before, but coming back from Nepal, after taking a trek through the Himalayas, we were gone for a month. Everything was peaceful. No bad times. No argument with people. Got home waiting at San Francisco airport for a ride, and this one young mother had this little girl that was going around dropping cookie crumbs all over the floor. And an older lady said, "Hey, ma'am, maybe you want to, take that away from your daughter. She's making a mess." And that young lady turned around. I'll say it nice. I won't use R-rated dialogue.
No.
The young lady said, if you don't shut your friggin' mouth, I'm going to slap you across the face.
And Jim and I looked at each
I looked
other.
at Tom. I said, "Yep, we're back home in America."
Another airport story. We were in Nepal, and it was all kinds of complications to get to the airport that morning, but we got there with our friend Jalak, who was our guide. And the airplane was sitting out there. We have videotape of this guy running from the airplane toward the airport. He was coming for us. They had told us that we don't go on that airplane, that ours is coming next. That guy came running in and saying, "The airplane's ready to take off. You three belong to get on the airplane." So we went running off and jumped on the airplane. Brackley was ready to take off down the runway.
Dirt runway.
Dirt runway. No, it wasn't a dirt runway, not in Pokhara.
That's right.
But then other airport stories basically are long, boring nights in Warsaw or Frankfurt.
I was going to say you spent 20 hours in Warsaw.
Yeah, when you have transfers going someplace and you end up spending 12 hours in the airport. Or in Taiwan, on the way back from Nepal, we stopped at the airport, but they were nice there. Even though we only had like 6 or 7 hours, they transported us to a hotel the wait, and then they come bring us back. But Jim, on the way, he sees a water fountain, drinks water out of the water fountain, not thinking, and he got really sick. Well, those kind of airport stories. Nothing. Oh well, when I was going to go to Israel in Istanbul, after Jim and I split up, he took a train to Greece, and I flew to Israel. The customs, they were so detailed. They even had me take the lens off my camera to check and make sure I didn't have a bomb hidden up in there or something. And then walking across the tarmac out toward the airplane, there's a vehicle circling the airplane with people sitting on top with machine guns, making sure nothing happened. And before you before you climb the ladder or the stairs to get into the airplane, they search you again. So at that time, there was a lot of terrorist stuff going on and bombings, things going to Israel, and still are, I guess. But when I sat down on the airplane and sat back, I thought, well, this will probably be a safe trip. They did such a thorough.
That's right.
So it all worked out. But no extraordinary way out there stories to tell.
Ray, what about you? Anything funny ever happened to you at an airport?
No, I really don't have any airport stories other than the time where I got into writing, and we're a lot younger. Tom, I think you're working out here, and I work in Utah. We worked at the airport until when we quit, and because our boss was being very unkind to one of the girl worker.
Yeah, the first boss was really good, but he got sick, and they let him go, and they got this new guy in there that was bad.
Right. Almost making her cry, and so I told off the boss, Tom and I, and he said, "You're fired." And I said, "Well, you know what we're going to do before we leave the airport? We're going to get on the elevator. We're going to go upstairs and get ourselves a free drink, soda pop." And he said, "You can't do that." And we walked over to the elevator, got inside, and did kind of a heart, like Laurel and Hardy used to go. So that's what we did, and up we went, and we got our drinks. But we did save some little cats. Was it cats that escaped from the plane or something that were, I don't know if they're going to be experimented on or what they're going to do with the poor cats. Smuggled about 3 or 4 of them out of there. If I remember right.
Yeah, the 3 little kittens that we smuggled, and we brought them home.
Wow.
That's as close. Except for flying back and forth every week between my home in Utah to LA. You know, But I don't have any exciting stories like my brothers do. I'll have to create one in my head.
Well, another funny thing that happened when we were working there at the airport in Salt Lake, we were mopping this room, and the straw, the string thing, not string, but the parts of the mop, all the little, one of them came loose, and there was a drain there, and I picked up the part of the little string thing off the mop, and I was holding it up, trying to make it go down through the drain, saying, help me, I don't want to go in there, I don't want to go in there. And the boss, I didn't know, came and stood behind me with his hands on his hips, kind of watching me. It's good to be crazy. I mean, how that line go that Peter O'Toole gave in Man of La Mancha? Perhaps it's
too much sanity is
too much
madness.
sanity is madness. Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
So, Prospector Pete.
A little bit of madness on a quiet afternoon. That was us.
We can end with that, but I want with this topic. But Tom, I wanted to remind you that one of my favorite stories with you was at an airport. We were sitting. It was about 4 or 5 in the morning. It was really early. And we were sitting in Odessa on this little bench. And the airport in Odessa is really small. The old airport, the one we were at, was really small. So it had to feel more like a bus station than an airport. But we're sitting on a bench outside. No one's there. We got there really, really early in the morning. And it was all quiet. And it was just this serene moment of quiet. And I turned to Tom and said, so, did you know you were sleeping in a brothel?
No, I didn't know that.
Because he was staying in a brothel. And he didn't know. And I figured it out within 30 seconds. And then once I realized he didn't know, I was debating, and I thought, if it was me, would I want to know? And I decided I would not want to know, because he was there for 3 or 4 more days. And I'm like, I wouldn't want to know. And so I didn't tell him until we were leaving. So we're at the airport, and that's when I sprung it on him. So Tom.
I thought something seemed a little weird there. I mean, the picture on the wall, the 2 girls that came in to kind of clean the place were giggling and all this. I thought something seemed a little different, but it's a regular, besides being a brothel, it is a regular hotel. It's advertised on booking.com, and that's where I booked it at. So yeah, I spent.
It was a nice brothel.